Good evening, lover of dark stories. Did you come for the story? Or did the story come for you? If you're here, it's because you like stories that stick in your head, right? The ones that haunt you in the silence of the night, that make you question just how far reality goes, and what truly resides beyond what you can see. Well then, get ready. The story today will stay with you for a long time. Perhaps you'll never look at the dark the same way again. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell. Put on your headphones and let yourself be enveloped by every word. And remember, when you start listening to a story like this, it has the power to find you when you least expect it. Stay alert. After all, you never know when the shadows decide to show their face. The road stretched ahead, a dark ribbon of asphalt winding through the empty night. The headlights barely pierced the blackness, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Something I couldn't see, but could almost feel pressing against me. The temperature in the car had dropped despite the warmth outside, and every now and then I'd glance in the rearview mirror, half expecting to see someone behind me. But no, there was no one. Just the road, endless, stretching into the unknown. The map didn't help. It just listed this stretch of road, just over an hour from the nearest town, as a nothingness, a place where people disappeared. But it was too late to turn back. I'd already committed to it. I had heard about this road before. The kind of stories that get passed around late at night when you're sitting around a campfire. You know, the ones you laugh off, at least ... at first. But now, here I was, driving down it, alone. No one else on the road. Just me. It was an eerie kind of quiet. Nothing but the low hum of the tires against the asphalt, and the occasional creak of the car. But something was off. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. I wasn't sure if it was the isolation that was getting to me, or if it was something deeper. Something that gnawed at the edges of my awareness. Then I saw it. A light, far off, up ahead. A flicker, just for a moment, before it vanished. It wasn't a car. No headlights, nothing else on the road. I tried to dismiss it as some sort of reflection, but as I drove on, I saw it again. The light distant, flickering in the dark, and then, just as quickly, it was gone. Must be my eyes. I muttered to myself, trying to rationalize. Maybe it was just some reflection off the trees or the road signs. But the more I tried to convince myself, the more I couldn't shake the feeling. That odd sensation of being watched. I wasn't sure why, but the road ahead, this stretch of nothingness, felt ... off. My grip tightened on the steering wheel. My heart beat just a little faster, as if it knew something I didn't. I pressed on. Maybe the light was nothing. Maybe it was my nerves. But the road didn't let up. It just kept going. And I couldn't quite shake the sense that I was headed straight for something. I wasn't supposed to see . And that's when I saw it. A figure, standing just off the edge of the road. Tall, thin, motionless. I barely had time to register it before I passed it, my heart skipping a beat. I glanced in the side mirror. Nothing. No sign of anyone. Just the empty stretch of road . But that feeling? The feeling of being watched ... It wouldn't leave. I pushed the accelerator a little harder, trying to put distance between myself and that eerie figure. But the road didn't change. It didn't bend or end. It just kept stretching out in front of me. The figure. It was as if it had been waiting for me. But for what? Why? I couldn't stop thinking about it. My mind was racing now. The road, the figure, the light. None of it made sense. Was I imagining things? Maybe it was the isolation. Maybe it was just the quiet, the emptiness, getting to me. But deep down, I knew something was wrong, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I tried to focus on the road, but the thoughts kept creeping in. I was being followed. I knew it. Something was behind me, something just out of view, something waiting to reveal itself. And then it happened again. The light. But this time, it wasn't far off. It was much closer. I could see it flickering just ahead, casting long, twisted shadows. On the road, I slammed on the brakes. My heart was pounding in my chest as I stared into the darkness, trying to make out what I was seeing. But the light was gone. It had disappeared, just like the first time. But I knew it hadn't been my imagination. A chill ran down my spine. This wasn't just a strange coincidence. Something was wrong here. Something that shouldn't be. I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. But it didn't help. The feeling of being watched ... The sensation that something was out there. was growing stronger. I didn't know if I should stop or keep driving. But deep down, I knew stopping would only make it worse, Dot. And that's when I heard it. A noise. Faint, but unmistakable. A whisper, Dot. It was coming from the darkness, just outside the reach of my headlights. The sound of something or someone moving in the shadows. I looked into the rearview mirror again, half expecting to see a face staring back at me, but there was nothing. Just the empty road. I swallowed hard, forcing myself to focus. I had to keep moving. I had to get out of here, Dot, but with every mile, the road felt longer. The darkness seemed deeper, and the feeling of being watched, Dot. It was becoming unbearable. I didn't know what I was up against, but one thing was clear. I couldn't turn back now. The road stretched ahead, but now it felt like it was stretching beyond what I could understand. The miles seemed longer, the darkness thicker. The air inside the car was getting heavier, like the weight of it was pressing in on me from all sides. Every creak, every crack of the car's joints made my heart jump. I couldn't tell if I was imagining it, but something felt wrong, something beyond just the road, beyond the isolation. I wiped the sweat off my forehead. I was alone, but it didn't feel like it. There was a constant sense of being watched. But it wasn't like anyone was in the car with me. It was like the road itself had eyes. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was keeping pace with me, lurking just out of view, waiting. I thought about pulling over, getting out of the car. Maybe I was just overreacting. But the idea of stepping out into that darkness, something about it felt like a terrible mistake. I couldn't. Not here. Not now. I reached for the radio dial, hoping for a distraction. But all I got was static. Not even a hint of a station. I cursed under my breath. No matter what I tried, it felt like the world outside had been stripped away. There was nothing but the hum of my engine, the dark, and that feeling, the feeling of eyes on me. I glanced at the rearview mirror again, expecting nothing. But this time, I saw something. A faint glow, something soft and ghostly hovering in the distance, behind me. My foot froze on the accelerator. The glow flickered and danced like it was teasing me. Moving closer, Dot. It was a light. But it wasn't like any light I'd ever seen. It wasn't from a car. It was almost organic, in a way. And it was getting closer, moving with purpose. I slammed my foot down on the pedal, pushing the car forward, but the light followed, keeping pace effortlessly. It was too fast, too smooth, as if it was part of the road itself. My hands trembled on the wheel. The glow was now directly behind me, just beyond the range of my headlights. I could see its shape flickering, shifting. It didn't feel like a normal light. It felt like it was alive, watching me. I could barely breathe. My chest tightened. The noise of the engine filled my ears, but it wasn't enough to drown out the sound of my heart pounding. I looked out the side window, my eyes darting toward the darkness that pressed in on either side of the road. Everything around me felt too still, too quiet. It was as though the world had stopped moving, frozen in place, holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. And then, without warning, the car's headlights flickered. Just once, but it was enough to make me panic. I slammed the button for the high beams, but nothing changed. The headlights were out. I jerked the steering wheel, trying to keep control as the darkness seemed to close in on me, but the car kept moving forward, as though it had its own mind. I looked into the rearview mirror again. The light was still there, close. Too close. My breath caught in my throat. I tried the headlights again, my hands fumbling with the switch. Nothing. The car was plunging forward into a pitch-black abyss. The road ahead now nothing but an inky black void. A noise. A sound. Faint at first, but then louder. The wind began to pick up, a chilling gust that rattled the car. But that wasn't the worst of it. No, the worst was the whisper. It was faint, but clear. Too clear. It was coming from inside the car. No, not inside the car. From outside, from the road itself. Soft, unintelligible words that danced on the edge of my hearing. I stared into the darkness outside, my mind racing. I could feel it now. The presence, lingering. I was no longer alone. Keep going, I whispered to myself, trying to convince myself that this would end, that there was nothing there. But deep down, I knew it wasn't true. The whisper grew louder, more distinct. It wasn't just a voice now, it was a whole chorus, a multitude of voices, all murmuring in a language I couldn't understand. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. My hands were shaking, but I couldn't stop myself from gripping the steering wheel harder. I had to keep moving. I had no choice. If I stopped, I knew what would happen. It would catch up to me. Whatever this thing was, it would find me if I stopped. My headlights sputtered, and I braced myself, thinking they were about to die completely. But the car surged forward, as though propelled by something other than my own doing. The light from behind me seemed to pulse, matching the rhythm of my heart, like it was feeding off my fear. The road was endless, stretching out in front of me. I could see no end to it, and yet I felt that something was closing in. Something was waiting. The whispers were now louder, clearer. There were words, but I couldn't understand them. They felt wrong, foreign. I had to stop. I had to do something. But the moment I considered slowing down, the road seemed to stretch even further, as if daring me to stop. It was as if the road itself was pulling me forward, trapping me, urging me to drive faster, deeper into the heart of the darkness. Just when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, the glow behind me vanished. For a moment, I felt relief. Maybe it had finally left me alone. But something felt worse now. The air was colder, thicker. The pressure in the car seemed to increase. The whispers, ... They were gone, but the silence felt worse. Like the quiet before something monstrous happens. I reached for my phone, my hands trembling. I had to call for help. Someone had to be out there, but when I checked my signal, there was nothing. No bars, no service. I was truly alone. And then I saw it. A figure, standing in the middle of the road, blocking my path. I slammed on the brakes, heart racing. But it wasn't enough. The car skidded toward the figure, and I couldn't stop it. My eyes locked on the figure. It was tall, with a twisted, grotesque shape, standing unnaturally still. Its features were too distorted to make out, but it was waiting for me. I couldn't stop the car, but the figure didn't move. Not even when the headlights shone directly on it. I tried again to brake, but the car didn't respond. And then, the figure disappeared. Just like that. One moment, it was there, blocking my way. The next, it was gone. But I could feel it. I could feel its presence, like it was right there with me. Something had changed. I was no longer just a passenger on this road. I was part of it now, and I didn't know how much longer I could last. I couldn't think. My mind was a tangled mess, desperately trying to make sense of what had just happened. The figure had been there one moment, blocking my way, and now ... it was gone. But something in the air had shifted. The car felt heavier, as if it was being drawn into the darkness, pulled by some unseen force. I gripped the steering wheel so hard, my knuckles turned white. The road stretched endlessly ahead, the darkness pressing in from all sides, thicker now, suffocating. The headlights flickered again, casting long, jagged shadows that seemed to twist unnaturally in the corners of my vision. I glanced in the rearview mirror, nothing. Just the empty road behind me, but I could still feel it, the presence. It lingered, just out of view, lurking in the shadows. I didn't know how much longer I could keep going. My pulse raced, every nerve on edge, and I felt my breath grow shallow. A crackling noise interrupted the silence inside the car. The radio. It was still static, like before, but this time, something else. A whisper. A soft, almost inaudible voice. Mixed with the static, like someone was trying to speak to me from far away. I instinctively reached for the radio dial, my fingers trembling. But as soon as I touched it, the whisper grew louder. A murmur, just beyond the edge of understanding. Get out. The words were clear this time, not a suggestion. A command. I jerked my hand away from the dial, my heart racing even faster. What the hell was going on? Was I hearing things? Or was this some kind of ... warning? I looked out the window again. The road seemed to go on forever. There was no sign of anything ahead, no end, no turn, no exit. Just more road. More darkness. More isolation. And then I saw something else. A reflection. I blinked, unsure if I was seeing things. But when I looked again, there it was. Just a flicker in the side mirror. A shadow moving quickly across the road. It was too fast to be a person. Too fluid, too strange. My heart skipped a beat as I turned my head sharply, hoping for some explanation. But there was nothing. No figure in sight. No movement. Just the open road. I felt like I was going crazy. The paranoia had set in. The isolation was eating at me, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was waiting. Something was following me, just beyond the reach of my vision. The road was playing tricks on me, and I didn't know how much longer I could keep pretending that it wasn't. I accelerated, my foot pressing down harder on the pedal, but the road ahead didn't change. It didn't get any shorter. It didn't offer any relief. I kept glancing at the mirror, half expecting to see the shadow again. But each time, there was nothing. I couldn't keep doing this. I needed to stop. I needed to get out of the car, get some fresh air, gather myself. But I didn't dare. The whisper came again, clearer now, and it was no longer just a voice. It was a chorus, an overlapping sound, hundreds of voices murmuring, all saying the same thing. Turn back. The car shook suddenly, as if responding to the warning. I slammed my foot on the brake, heart in my throat. The world outside seemed to shudder, the lights in the car flickering erratically. The road seemed to stretch further, like it was unwilling to allow me to leave. No, I couldn't. I had to keep going. There was no turning back now. I pushed my foot down on the accelerator again, driving through the tension, ignoring the warnings that were growing louder in my ears. The voices, they were everywhere. They surrounded me. I tried to ignore them, but it was impossible. It felt like they were inside the car with me, like the very air around me was thick with their murmurs. Turn back, the voices chanted. But I couldn't. I had to keep moving. The road was all I had. The only thing I could trust. And then I saw it up ahead. A set of headlights. For a moment, I felt a rush of relief. Finally, someone else. I wasn't alone. There was another car on this road. I floored the gas pedal, desperate to reach the other vehicle. Maybe they could help. Maybe they'd know what was going on. But as I got closer, my heart sank. The car wasn't moving. It was parked right in the middle of the road. Its headlights blazed, blinding in the dark, but there was no movement from inside. No sign of life. I slowed down as I approached, my breath catching in my throat. There was something off about the car. It didn't look right. The tires were flat, the windows cracked, and there was a thick layer of dust covering the body of the car, like it had been sitting there for a long time. I pulled up alongside it, my eyes fixed on the driver's seat, half expecting to see someone inside, but the seat was empty. There was no one in the car. I hesitated, my mind racing. What was this? What was going on? Suddenly, a voice broke through the silence, sending a jolt of terror through me. Get out. It wasn't the radio this time. It was real clear, coming from the empty car. I jerked my head toward the road in front of me, my heart hammering in my chest. But there was nothing. The road ahead was still just empty, stretching into the dark. And the only thing left was the empty car beside me. I couldn't stop. I couldn't just sit there. I had to get away. I slammed my foot back on the accelerator, the tires screeching as I sped past the abandoned vehicle. I didn't dare look back. I didn't dare stop. And as I drove into the darkness, I could feel it, the weight of the road, the weight of something watching me, following me. It had always been there. It wasn't just the car, or the lights. It wasn't even the whispers. It was the road itself. The endless road. And it wasn't going to let me leave. I could feel my pulse in my throat, in my ears. Each beat seemed louder than the last, like it was syncing with the ominous hum of the road. The car accelerated on its own, as though it were no longer just responding to my actions, but to something else, something that was compelling it to keep moving, pulling it further down this stretch of endless night. I kept my grip tight on the steering wheel, knuckles white, but I didn't feel like I was driving anymore. I felt like I was being driven. The car was no longer just an extension of me. It was a part of something else. Something I didn't understand. I glanced at the dashboard, hoping for some sign of normalcy, but there was nothing. No clock, no indicator of where I was, no mileage counting the distance. The screen flickered, then went black, and I was left staring at the same blank, unsettling darkness. I couldn't remember how long I had been driving. Time had lost all meaning on this road. The shadows around me seemed to stretch unnaturally, twisting and elongating, as if the world itself were bending, warping around me. The glow from the headlights barely cut through the blackness, like it was being swallowed up by the void. Every now and then, I thought I could see something moving. In the distance, shapes, figures, things that flickered in and out of existence, like they were caught between dimensions. I tried not to look too closely, but my eyes betrayed me. I had to look. And every time, When I dared to stare at whatever was out there, it was gone the moment I blinked. Then came the first real sound of the night. It was a distant, hollow noise, rumbling, like something massive shifting deep beneath the earth. It started low, almost imperceptible, but grew louder with each passing second, like a thunderstorm approaching. The sound reverberated in my chest, vibrating against my ribs. I instinctively slowed the car, but the sound seemed to be coming from everywhere, surrounding me, pushing closer. The road, I realized, had changed. The edges that once appeared sharply defined, the trees that had been there earlier, were gone. In their place was a deep, infinite blackness that I couldn't penetrate with my eyes. It wasn't the dark of night. It was a deeper, more unnatural darkness, like I had entered somewhere that had no place in the world. And then, it was gone. The rumble stopped as suddenly as it had started, leaving only the faint sound of the tires against the road. But I couldn't shake the sensation. It felt like the ground beneath me had shifted, like I was no longer on the same earth. Suddenly, the car jerked, as if something beneath it had moved. I slammed my foot on the brake, but the car didn't slow. It kept moving, as though the brake pedal had become useless, and the car was being driven by something else entirely. I could feel it now. The car wasn't just being driven forward. It was pulling me. The wheel jerked beneath my hands, resisting every attempt I made to steer. I fought against it, gripping harder, trying to regain control, but the force was too strong. I glanced ahead and saw a figure, standing in the middle of the road. My first instinct was to stop, to slam on the brakes, but something deep inside me told me not to. Something told me that if I stopped, if I hesitated even for a second, I might be swallowed up by whatever this was. I pressed the gas pedal harder, the car surging forward with terrifying speed. The figure didn't move, didn't even flinch, as I barreled toward it. It was tall, impossibly tall, with long limbs that seemed to stretch and distort unnaturally. Its features were blurred, shifting in and out of focus like a mirage, but I could feel it. I could feel its presence, thick and suffocating, pressing against the car, against me. My skin crawled, my heart raced faster, and for the first time, I realized just how powerless I was. I could no longer see the road ahead. There was no light, no sense of distance. All that existed now was this thing, this figure, blocking my path. The car was moving closer, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't even slow down. And then, just as I was about to collide with it, the figure stepped aside. I swerved, narrowly avoiding it, my heart slamming against my chest. The car veered off course, and I fought to regain control, my hands numb from the strain. The figure was gone. Just like that, I sped up, almost desperate to put distance between me and that thing. But it didn't matter how fast I went. The road didn't change. The night didn't end. I was still on it, still trapped in this loop. I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn back. And then I saw the lights again. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but as I got closer, I realized they were real. 2 headlights, glowing faintly in the distance. A car. Finally, I slammed on the brakes again, this time without hesitation, but the car didn't respond. It just kept moving faster and faster, pulling me toward the distant lights. "Please, no," I whispered, my voice barely audible over the sound of my racing heart. The headlights grew brighter, and I saw the shape of the car coming into view. It was stopped in the middle of the road, just like the last one, but this time, I could make out the silhouette of someone standing beside it. I didn't know why, but something inside me told me this wasn't the help I had been hoping for. It wasn't safety. It was another part of this madness. I couldn't stop. I couldn't risk it. I had to keep going, but the car wasn't letting me. The closer I got, the more I could feel the pressure, like the air itself was thickening, becoming heavier. I tried to swerve to avoid the other vehicle, but the wheel resisted, forcing me toward it. The headlights, the figure beside the car, they grew larger in my vision, overwhelming. And as I got closer, everything seemed to freeze. Time stopped. The figure in front of the car didn't move. It stood perfectly still, watching me, waiting. And then, the whisper came again. "Stop." I couldn't stop, but I did. Car screeched to a halt, just inches from the figure. For a moment, I sat there, staring at it. The figure's face was a blur, shifting and distorting, like it was made of smoke. And then it spoke, its voice low and cold. "Welcome." I didn't have time to react. The world around me seemed to collapse inward, and I realized with a sinking feeling that I was no longer just driving on a road. I was part of it. The car's engine sputtered, as if it too was tired of this game. My hands were still locked onto the steering wheel, but my body felt disconnected, like I was no longer in control of what was happening. The figure in front of me remained motionless, its form undulating, distorting like it was made of mist or shadows. It was impossible to focus on it, as though my mind instinctively knew it wasn't supposed to. But I couldn't look away. "Welcome," it whispered again, and the sound of its voice wasn't like anything I had ever heard. It wasn't human. It was an echo, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. I opened my mouth to speak, to ask what it wanted, but my throat tightened. My voice wouldn't come out. My lips trembled, but I couldn't make a sound. And then, without warning, the car jerked forward. My foot had moved to the accelerator, without me even realizing it, and the car surged ahead, skidding across the road toward the figure. I slammed on the brakes, but it was no use. The car didn't stop. The pressure from behind, from the road itself, was too strong. I could feel it pushing me forward, dragging me toward whatever that thing was. The headlights flickered violently, casting strange, angular shadows that danced and twisted in the periphery of my vision. It felt like the world was bending around me, warping into something unrecognizable. I turned the wheel, trying to steer away, but the car refused. "Please stop," I whispered, the words barely leaving my lips, but the car didn't stop. It was like the road had taken control, like I wasn't even a part of the equation anymore. I could see the figure more clearly now. Its face, or what could have been a face, was shifting, becoming more and more distorted as I drew closer. It was not human, not in any way I understood. It seemed to ripple in the darkness, like smoke that refused to stay in one form, each part of it flowing and merging with the next. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. My chest felt tight, and I could feel my heartbeat thudding in my throat, loud enough to drown out everything else. The road began to change beneath me. The asphalt twisted and cracked, the solid ground giving way to something softer, something more fluid. The car lurched, sliding sideways, but still, it refused to stop. The figure in front of me was now so close, I could almost reach out and touch it. The air around it shimmered, like the space itself was folding in on itself, pulling at reality. It was as if the figure wasn't even standing on the road, but hovering, suspended between two worlds. My heart stopped for a second, when I realized that the figure wasn't just waiting for me, it was inviting me. "Welcome," it repeated. And now the voice wasn't just in my ears. It was inside me, in my mind. I could feel it scraping against my thoughts, dragging them into the darkness. I couldn't think. I couldn't focus. I tried to pull the car away, tried to fight it, but it was like the world was slipping through my fingers. The more I struggled, the more the car moved on its own. The figure stood perfectly still, as if it were always there, part of the road, part of the darkness. And then something snapped. The car lurched again, harder this time, and the world around me exploded into blackness. The headlights flickered, the engine screamed in protest, but I didn't stop. I couldn't. The road kept pulling me forward. I don't know how long I was driving, or if I was even driving anymore. It felt like time had lost all meaning. The road twisted and shifted, the surroundings impossible to make sense of. Every time I thought I saw something in the distance, it would vanish the moment I blinked. The road stretched on, but it was no longer a road. It was an abyss. And then, a sound. Not the hum of the engine, not the screech of the tires, but something deeper, something primal. A low rumble, like the earth itself was groaning beneath me. The sound grew louder and louder, until it felt like it was coming from inside my head. The pressure was unbearable, like my skull was about to crack open from the intensity. I slammed my hands over my ears, but the sound was still there. It was everywhere. "Welcome," the voice whispered again. This time, it was different. The voice was no longer just a whisper. It had grown, becoming a chorus of voices, each one speaking over the other. It wasn't just one voice anymore. It was many. And then, I saw them. Figures. Hundreds of them. Standing on the sides of the road, their faces obscured by shadows, their bodies indistinct. Some were tall, others short, all with the same unblinking stare, watching me as I passed. I wanted to scream, but the scream never came. The air was thick, and I was suffocating in it. I couldn't see where I was going. Couldn't see where the road ended, or if it even had an end. I couldn't stop. I couldn't look away from the faces in the darkness. They all seemed to be waiting for something. The road kept going, but it wasn't a road anymore. It was a trap. The pressure was unbearable now. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. The voices grew louder, and the figures grew more numerous, until they blurred together in my vision. I was surrounded. They were everywhere, watching. "Get out," the voices said in unison. "You're one of us now." I couldn't fight it anymore. I felt myself slipping. My mind was unraveling, the words of the voices crawling inside me, suffocating me. And then everything went dark. I don't know how much time passed. I don't know what happened after that. The next thing I remember, I was standing on the side of the road. The car was gone. The darkness was gone. The figures were gone, but I wasn't alone. The road stretched out before me, endless. And now I knew I was one of them. I don't know how I got here. I don't know if I'm still part of this world, or if I've slipped into something else entirely. But one thing is certain. The road, it never ends. I can still hear the whispers. Now, I'm waiting. Waiting for someone else to drive down this road. And when they do, I'll be waiting for them. It's strange, how easily we can convince ourselves that we're in control of our lives. I always thought I was in control. I always thought I could just keep driving, keep moving forward. But here I am, standing on the side of the road, feeling like I've lost something deep inside me. I'm not sure what it is, but it's gone. The road has taken it. The wind shifts suddenly, cold against my skin, biting at my face. I'm still standing there, not entirely sure how I got here, or even how long I've been standing there. The road in front of me stretches out, endless, unyielding, and I know deep down that this road will never end. It just keeps going, forever. The whispers. They're always there now, lingering at the edge of my thoughts. Soft, persistent, like a memory I can't quite place. It's maddening, but it's something I've come to accept. I don't know why, but there's comfort in it now. The whispers aren't hostile. They're just there, part of the landscape, part of the endless night. Maybe it's because deep down, I've become part of this world. This road. I take a hesitant step forward, my shoes crunching against the gravel that seems to make up this strange, unending path. The road isn't like any I've ever seen before. It's not paved the way I remember it. It's rough now, jagged, cracked like the skin of something ancient. The air smells different, thick with dust and a sharp, metallic tang. The kind of air that makes your lungs burn after just a few breaths. But it's the quiet that gets to me the most, the silence. It's oppressive in a way that I can't describe. You would think in a place like this, with the whispering in your ears and the feeling of being watched, that the silence would be broken. But it isn't. Not by anything real. It's the kind of silence that makes your mind race, makes your thoughts twist and fold in on themselves. And it's in that silence that I realize something. I'm not alone. The road stretches out, sure, but the darkness around me is something more than just night. It feels like it's alive, like it's moving, watching, waiting. I can almost feel the ground beneath me pulse, as if it's alive in a way that doesn't make sense. But that's the thing with this place, isn't it? None of it makes sense. I start walking, not because I want to, but because I feel compelled to. There's nowhere else to go. The road is the only thing here. The only thing that's constant. The only thing I can trust, in a way, even though I know it's not something I should trust. And as I walk, I see them. Figures. They're standing just off the road, their silhouettes barely visible in the dark. At first, I think they're just shadows, figures waiting for the next car to drive by. But no, as I get closer, I realize they're watching me. I can feel their eyes on me, even though I can't see their faces. They don't move, they don't speak. They just stand there in the dark, waiting. I pass them, my steps quickening without realizing it. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. The whispering grows louder now, like it's coming from them. From the figures. It's not words, exactly. Just sounds. A low, continuous hum that I can feel in my chest. And then, just as I think I'm going to break into a run, they're gone. Vanished. Just like the road itself, they've melted into the darkness. But they're still here. I know it. I can feel them. The road keeps going, the whispers growing fainter as I move further into the night. But there's something new now. Something more insidious. A low rumble. It's the same sound I heard before. That deep, throbbing hum that shakes the air and makes my bones ache. But this time, it's different. It's not just the earth groaning beneath me. This time, I feel it in my chest, vibrating through my ribcage, and I know something is wrong. Something's coming. I pick up the pace, but my legs feel heavy. My thoughts are getting slower. It's like the road itself is pulling me back, trying to keep me here, keep me from leaving. I can't breathe. The air is getting thicker, harder to take in. And the whispers ... They're everywhere now. Louder, more insistent. I can't stop walking. I can't stop moving forward. The road won't let me. Ahead, the lights flicker again. But these aren't the headlights of a car. These are different. Dim, like the glow of a dying star. The lights hover, shifting in the distance. There's something in them, something familiar, but I can't place it. I don't want to place it, but I can't look away. I approach the lights, my footsteps echoing in the silence. The closer I get, the clearer it becomes. These aren't just lights. These are shapes, forms that shift and writhe. Figures, indistinct, moving in and out of focus. They seem to be reaching for me. They want me to come closer, but I don't want to. I stop, my breath shallow, my heart pounding. The lights hover just beyond my reach, and I can feel the pull, the temptation to move forward, to step into whatever it is they represent. I take a step back, just one step, and then another, but then I hear it. The voice. Come. It's not a whisper this time. It's clear, direct. It's calling me, telling me to come, to join. I take another step back, and then another. My feet feel like they're stuck, like the road has wrapped around them, unwilling to let me go. And then suddenly, I'm not alone. I turn quickly, but there's nothing behind me. Just the empty stretch of road, the darkness. But I know they're here. The figures, the ones watching me. They're standing just beyond the edge of my vision. I can feel them. And that's when I realize this road, this endless, twisting, suffocating road, it's not just a place ... It's a trap. A trap that I've been walking into from the moment I drove onto it. A trap that's been waiting for me. For all of us to lose our way. To get lost. And now I'm one of them. I don't know if I can leave. I don't know if anyone ever does. But I know one thing. The road is waiting. And it always will be. It's a strange feeling, knowing that I'm here, on this road, and yet not fully understanding how or why. The truth is, I don't think I'll ever truly understand. The whispers, the figures, the shifting reality, none of it makes sense. But none of it feels out of place anymore. I don't know when it happened, but the madness of this place has started to feel normal. The more time I spend here, the less I feel like the world I once knew was real. The road stretches on, endless. The same jagged cracks, the same cold, oppressive darkness. It feels like the road is alive, breathing in a way that I can feel deep in my bones. With each step, I can sense the weight of it pressing down on me, guiding me, shaping me into something ... different. I can hear the voices now, clearer than before. They don't whisper anymore. They speak directly, all at once, as if they're no longer afraid of me hearing them. Join us, they say. There's no sense of urgency in their words. It's a simple request, or perhaps it's a demand, though. It doesn't feel like one. It feels like something inevitable. Like I've always been meant to hear it, to follow it. And the truth is, part of me wants to. It's like the road is calling me, pulling me in deeper, making it harder and harder to remember why I ever thought about leaving in the first place. I walk on, my feet sinking into the gravel, which now feels strangely soft underfoot, like the road itself is absorbing me. The darkness around me is all-encompassing, and yet there's a strange lightness in the air. It's hard to explain, but there's a tension in this place. Like something is always about to happen, like the world is teetering on the edge of a precipice, and the only thing holding it together is the road. The figures are still there, watching. I can feel their eyes, though I never see their faces. They stand just beyond the periphery of my vision, always at the edges of the road, in the shadowed spaces. They never speak. They don't need to. They're not here to guide me, not in the way the voices are. They're just ... waiting ... And then, just when I think I can't take the weight of the silence anymore, I see it. A light. Far off in the distance, glowing faintly ... It's not like the other lights I've seen. The ones that flicker and disappear when I get close. This one is constant, unwavering, and it seems to pulse with a rhythm that matches the pounding in my chest. I want to keep walking. I want to keep moving forward, to follow it. But I hesitate. Is this the way out? Is this the end of the road? Or is it just another trap? Another illusion, like everything else here? I take a step forward, and then another. Each movement feels slow, deliberate, as if the road itself is forcing me to go in its direction. The light grows brighter with each step, but there's something unsettling about it. It's too perfect, too clear. When I'm close enough to make out the source of the light, I stop. It's a car. I blink. For a moment, I wonder if I'm seeing things. I couldn't remember the last time I saw another vehicle on this road. It's old, rusted, almost as if it has been here for decades. The headlights are on, but they don't illuminate the road. Instead, the light seems to spill out of the car itself, like it's part of the world around it, part of the darkness. And then I see them. Figures sitting inside the car. Shadows, indistinct, but clearly human. They're all facing forward, as if waiting for something. But there's no movement, no sound. They're not even breathing. I try to step back, my heart hammering in my chest, but my feet feel heavy. The air around me grows thicker, like it's becoming more difficult to breathe. The whispers grow louder, surrounding me, pushing me closer. To the car. Join us, they say again, this time in unison. I'm frozen, caught between fear and curiosity. What is this? What do they want from me? I take a step closer, unable to resist the pull. My body moves of its own accord, as if the road has taken control of me, guiding me forward. The figures in the car don't move. They don't even look at me. They just sit there, their faces obscured by shadows, waiting. And then, I hear it. A voice. Not from the figures, but from the car itself. Get in. The voice is calm, even welcoming. But it's also unmistakably commanding. I want to scream. I want to run. But I can't. The pull of the road, the pull of the darkness, it's too strong. I open the door, slowly, almost mechanically. The interior of the car is empty. It's just the seats, the faint glow from the headlights, and the figures in the front, staring straight ahead. Without thinking, I sit down. And just like that, the door closes behind me. For a moment, nothing happens. The world outside the car seems to blur, as if the darkness is swallowing it whole. The figures in the front don't move. They just sit there, still, their faces hidden in shadow. The car begins to move. I don't know how. I don't know when. But I feel it. The car is moving on its own, gliding forward with a smoothness that defies logic, as if it's part of the road. The headlights glow brighter now, casting long shadows on the road ahead, illuminating nothing but emptiness. I'm not alone anymore, but I don't know who or what I'm with. The figures in front of me are still just shadows, and the whispers grow louder as the car speeds forward, faster and faster, until the road becomes a blur, stretching out into the void. I don't know where we're going. I don't know if there's any escape, but I'm moving now. I'm part of the road. I don't think I'll ever be able to leave. The car moves like a living thing, gliding along the road as though it knows exactly where it's headed. The world outside the windows is a blur, like the road itself is being erased from existence, leaving nothing but shadows, voids, and the soft, endless hum of the engine. It's like a dream. No, it's worse than a dream. It's a nightmare that you can't wake up from, no matter how hard you try. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know how I ended up in this car, surrounded by shadowy figures who don't move, don't speak. They sit ahead of me, as still and silent as the night itself. The only thing that feels real is the road beneath me, the vibrations of the car, the whispers growing louder in my head. They aren't voices anymore, they're a presence, a weight pressing down on me, pushing me into this dark, endless place. The road doesn't end. It just keeps going, curling and twisting through the darkness. There are no turns, no exits, no signs, no landmarks. Just the sound of the tires humming against the black pavement, the soft buzz of the engine. It feels like we're floating, suspended in a place that doesn't exist, moving forward without ever truly going anywhere. The figures in front of me, still and unmoving, are the only other passengers in this strange, silent ride. They don't speak, don't acknowledge my presence. They're like statues, carved from the very air around us. I can't make out their faces, only the vague outline of their forms, obscured by shadows, and the whispers. They don't stop. Never stop. The more I try to ignore them, the louder they get. At first, they were just a faint murmur, distant and almost dismissible. But now they're inside my mind, clawing at my thoughts, repeating the same words over and over again, as though they're woven into the very fabric of the car, of the road itself. Join us, they say. Stay with us. I can't shake them. I can't escape them. But there's something worse than the voices. It's the feeling that I'm becoming one of them, that I'm losing myself. The road, the figures, the whispers, they're changing me. Slowly, subtly, but unmistakably. I glance out the window, half expecting to see something monstrous, or alien in the dark, but it's just more darkness. The landscape is empty. There's nothing out there. No trees, no buildings, no sky. Just an empty black void that stretches beyond the horizon, pulling everything into itself. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. The longer I stay in this car, the more I feel like a part of it, like the car is consuming me, becoming. I look down at my hands, and for a moment, I swear they don't look like my own. They're pale, too still, too lifeless. The car is swallowing me up, Dot, and then just as I begin to panic, I hear a voice, Dot. It's not from the figures. It's not from the whispers. It's a new voice, clear, direct, cold. Are you ready? The question cuts through the silence, and I freeze. I don't know who's speaking, but I know one thing. This voice isn't asking for my consent. It's not offering me a choice. It's just telling me, in no uncertain terms, that whatever happens next, I'm going to be a part of it. I want to scream. I want to demand answers. But I can't. It's like my throat has been closed off. I can barely breathe, let alone speak. The car accelerates. Faster, faster. The road, or whatever this place is stretching out before me, pulling me deeper into it. There's no way out. The world outside the car is nothing but a void. The figures in front of me remain motionless, their presence somehow suffocating, and I feel the weight of them pressing in from all sides. And that's when I see it, Dot, up ahead, faintly at first. A glow. A light, Dot, at first. I think it's just my mind playing tricks on me. Maybe it's a mirage. Maybe it's another illusion, like the countless other things I've seen on this road. But as I get closer, the glow becomes brighter. It's not a light like headlights or street lamps. It's an ethereal, unnatural glow, the kind that feels like it's coming from another dimension, from a place that shouldn't exist. I lean forward, staring at it, my heart pounding in my chest. This is it. This is the end of the road. The light intensifies as we approach, and I can feel it pulling at me, urging me forward. The figures in the front remain still, silent, but I feel something from them now, a cold, knowing presence. They're waiting for something. They're waiting for me. I brace myself, not knowing what to expect. The whispers are deafening now. They aren't just voices anymore. They're thoughts, memories, fragments of things I can't remember. I feel my mind slipping, and the car is driving itself now, faster and faster, into the heart of the light. The light expands, swallowing the road, the darkness, and the car itself. And then, I feel it a pull, stronger than anything I've ever felt, dragging me toward it. I reach out instinctively, and as my hand touches the glowing light, everything stops, everything, the car. The figures, the whispers, they all vanish in an instant, leaving me alone in the light. And that's when I realize I'm no longer in the car. I'm no longer on the road, somewhere else now. I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain it. All I know is that the road is still out there somewhere, waiting. And whenever it calls, whenever it whispers, it will find you. It will find all of us, and we will never be able to leave. There is no peace in this place. The light that consumed me hasn't gone away. It hasn't even dimmed. It doesn't feel like light, really. More like an overwhelming presence that makes everything else fade into insignificance. It's everywhere, surrounding me, but at the same time, it's nothing. It doesn't illuminate anything. It doesn't cast shadows. It's as though I'm standing inside a space that doesn't exist. It's like the world is made of nothing but this constant glow, this pull that stretches in every direction, infinite. The air is heavier now. It presses down on me, making each breath feel like it's being squeezed out of me. My chest tightens with each exhale. There's no sound here. No wind, no rustling leaves, no hum of a car engine. Just silence. It's so oppressive. I can't even hear myself breathe. I try to move, but my body feels stiff, as though the moment I crossed into this place, it changed. Like I've been altered in ways I can't begin to understand. My legs feel like they're moving through water, slow and laborious. Each step I take feels as if the ground beneath me is shifting, pulling me in the opposite direction, making me question if I'm moving at all. And then, the whispers return. It's not the same as before, not the gentle murmurs in the background. This time, it's louder, more insistent, like they've found their way inside my head. They echo in my skull, crawling through the deepest corners of my thoughts, filling every crack with their words. Stay with us. Become part of us. They're not just whispers anymore. They're commands. They're a part of me now. I can feel them moving through my blood and the pulse of my heartbeat. I want to scream, but I don't. My mouth is dry. I can't form the words. There's nothing left in me to fight with. I can see the figures again. They stand before me, unmoving, silent. I can feel their presence more than I can see them. Their shapes are indistinct, but they're there. I can't make out any features, but somehow, I know that they're watching me. They know what's happening to me. They know what's happening to all of us. I want to ask them what's going on, but I know the answer already. I feel it. I'm becoming like them. Like the road, like the darkness, like the car. A part of something else, something that isn't quite alive, but isn't quite dead either. They don't speak. They don't need to. I can hear them, even when they're silent. Their presence is enough to make my skin crawl, to make the air grow colder. But I can't leave. I can't turn back. I try to move forward, to put some distance between me and them. But my legs won't cooperate. They feel like they're made of stone, weighed down by something I can't see, something pulling me back. And then, I hear it. Sound deep and low. Not the whispers, not the figures, but something else. It's like a rumble, a vibration in the very air itself. The road shakes beneath me, a tremor that rattles my bones. It's not the car. The car is gone. This is something worse. The light flickers, just for a moment. It's subtle at first, like the light itself is struggling to hold its form. But as I watch, it becomes more pronounced. It wavers, undulating, like it's fighting to remain stable. And then, I see it. In the distance. A figure. It's not like the others. This one moves. It moves toward me. Not slowly, but at a pace that feels deliberate, as if it knows exactly where it's going. It's tall, impossibly tall, its shape twisting and stretching as it comes closer. I can't make out its features, but I can feel it the same way I feel the road, the light, the figures. It's part of this place, part of whatever this is. I don't know why, but I begin to walk toward it. I can't stop myself. It's like I'm being pulled. The same force that's kept me on this road, that's kept me trapped here, is now guiding me toward this thing. And as I get closer, the air grows heavier, colder. The whispers grow louder, until they're all I can hear. And then, it speaks. Not with words, but with thoughts. Welcome. It's not a voice I hear with my ears. It's a voice that reverberates in my mind, in my very soul. It's everywhere and nowhere, and it feels like it's been waiting for me, for all of us to arrive. I stop in my tracks, my heart pounding in my chest. I want to run. I want to scream. But I can't. The whispers have already become part of me, and the road is pulling me in, pulling me toward the figure, toward whatever this is. I don't know what it wants from me, but I know one thing. I don't have a choice. The figure steps forward, its form distorting as it moves, its shape. No longer fully human, no longer fully anything. It's a blur, an abstraction of light and shadow, a thing that can't possibly exist, but it's here. It's real, and it's waiting for me. And as I step toward it, I can feel myself slipping away from everything I once knew, slipping into whatever this place is, into whatever this road has become. The figure reaches out its hand, and for the first time, I realize I'm not just here. I've always been here. I've always been a part of the road. The light swells around me, and everything goes black. I can't say how long it's been, how much time has passed, or how far I've come. But I know one thing for sure. The road never ends. No matter how far I walk, no matter how deep I go into this endless void, there's no escape. I thought, maybe, if I kept moving, if I kept walking long enough, I'd find an end. A place where it all stops, the whispers, the figures, the constant weight of the darkness pressing against me. But I've come to understand now, as I walk further into the abyss, that there is no end. There's only the road. I don't know what happened to me the moment the figure reached out its hand. I don't know what changed. One moment I was standing there, frozen, watching it approach me, its form shifting, flickering like a dying flame. And the next moment, I was here. The light, that overwhelming, suffocating light, swallowed everything. It consumed me, and when I opened my eyes again, I was on the road. No longer just an observer, no longer a passerby. I've become something else. I can feel it in my bones, in the way my steps move without thought, in the way the road pulls me forward. I don't question it anymore. I don't try to resist. The figures are always with me now, walking beside me, watching from the edges of the road. They never speak. They don't need to. They are a part of this place, just like I am. Just like the road is. The whispers. They never stop. They've become a constant hum in my mind, a low, insistent murmur that I can't escape. At first, I thought I could ignore them, but now they've become part of me. I hear them when I sleep, when I don't sleep. I hear them when I think, when I breathe. They've grown louder, more direct. They've started to form sentences. Join us, they say. Stay with us. Don't leave. You can't leave. There's no way out. No way back. The road curves ahead, stretching farther into the darkness. And I know there's no end. There's no final destination. The light, the same one that swallowed me whole, is still there, faint in the distance. But it's not guiding me anymore. It's waiting for me. Waiting for the next one. The next person to drive down this road. The next one to fall into its GRSP. I don't know how it works, how it chooses, but I know this road is alive. It's not just a path, it's a force. A force that devours everything. It touches, drawing in those who are unlucky enough to find it. There are countless others like me. I'm sure of it. People who've disappeared. People who've entered the darkness and never came back. Their souls, their memories, are lost to this place. Trapped, like me. I wish I could tell you that there's a way to escape, that there's a path, a trick, or some sign to show you the way out. But I've seen it all. I've walked down every stretch of road, past every figure in the shadows. There is no escape. There's just the road, and the whispers. Always the whispers. But now I understand. I know what they want. I know what they're asking of me. It's not a request. It's a command. Join us. It's strange in a way. All this time, I thought I was just passing through. Just another traveler. But now I realize I've always been part of this road. I've always been meant for this place. And the truth is, so are you. The road doesn't care who you are or where you come from. It doesn't care what you believe in. All it wants is for you to step on it, for you to follow it. And once you do, once you're on it, there's no going back. The figures, they're waiting for you too. They'll watch as you walk. They'll wait until you're ready, until you understand, until you become a part of it. A part of the road. I know it sounds crazy. You probably don't believe me. You probably think this is just a story, some kind of twisted tale. But I'm telling you, this is real. This road, it exists. And once you've been on it, there's no turning back. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe because I know you'll eventually find it. Everyone does, sooner or later. The road always calls, and when it does, you'll hear it. You'll feel it, and you'll follow it. And when you do, when you finally give in, when you take that first step. I single quotes LL be there. Waiting for you. I've always been here, and so will the road. In the end, there's only one certainty. The world we see may not be all that exists. Leave a comment on what you think. And if you're brave enough, come back here tomorrow. There's always a new story waiting for you. But remember, some stories never end.